Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. In today's video we are going to cover Kaspa, its recent price action. We are going to cover a couple of interesting news for Kaspa and potential listings, and on the top of that we are going to see what is the overall trend of the market and what we can pretty much expect, in coming, let's say, days and news. And of course we are going to cover altcoin and BTC charts as well. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video is not financial advice. And now let's hop into Kaspa itself. So Kaspa is currently trading at 11 cents and is currently experiencing a little leg down of 0.5% towards the downside, and market cap is currently trading at 2.6 billion USD. 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 34.1 million USD. And now if we are going to look at overall crypto market on a daily, most of the coins are dumping besides Tron Network and Rune, and as well as HTX token, a little bit of gains over there. But overall, we are experiencing that sideways price action because BTC, saw a little bit of pullback. And now Shai said that you can use KRC20 to build a DEX. You don't need smart contracts for that. So first things first, imagine what is going to happen on with Kaspa's price in the future, when DEXs are going to be built, different dApps, different memes, etc. But now I asked ChatGPT basically what is the difference. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with the whole text, but basically the difference is that KRC20 is a token standard on Kaspa blockchain, well, actually block deck, similar to Ethereum's ERC20 standard. And smart contracts are self-executing contracts with the terms of the agreement directly written into code. So now, they are slightly different. They are not exactly the same. And yes, KRC20 basically, will allow developers to build DEXs, etc. And now speaking about exchanges, top 10 potential projects to be listed on Binance for 2024, and Kaspa is at the top of the list. So I allowed myself to Google and I found this article. Basically, these are the projects that are potentially going to be listed, soon on Binance. And if we are going to scroll down, we do have Dogeverse, which is potentially a next Pepe coin, but whatever. And now we do have our beloved Kaspa. So something big is brewing, and potentially that could be even announced after this, next block expo that is happening on May 15 to 16 in Warsaw, Poland, and also after the webinar that is going to happen tomorrow. So guys, if I'm going to have any information, any videos, etc., I am going to update you on that as well. But I'm reminding that this is for institutional. So if institutions are going to pretty much see what actually Kaspa is, guys, that could be very big for Kaspa. And now this is something that you guys have seen in the thumbnail, and yes, we are going forward if it comes to Rust migration, and we are currently sitting at 26.9% of Rust migration. So once that is going to be finished, guys, things are going to look much better for Kaspa. And now if it comes to Kaspa Analytics, the current reward is sitting at 110 Kaspa. Next reward is going to be 104. Next reduction is scheduled in 28 days. Hash rate is currently sitting at 234 petahash per second. However, all-time highs for hash rate is 253 petahash per second. So now looking at addresses holding over 10K, ever since 5th of May, which was roughly 3 days ago, we're sitting at 74,280. And as of today, 74,420. Which is 140 new wallets. And if it comes to 100K, we are sitting at 70 new wallets in the last 3 days. And now let's finally have a look at the chart for Kaspa. So that is a 4-hourly time frame. And now first things first, if it comes to this, trend, we could technically say that Kaspa broke this, downtrend. However, one sad thing is that let me just zoom it out a little bit and actually extend this. If I'm going to pretty much put it into area of almost all-time highs for Kaspa, we can see that we are still in well, we still kind of broke this downtrend. However, as you guys can see, we are pulling back on that. And we can also technically argue that Kaspa already get out of that triangle model. So let me actually delete that because it's irrelevant at this point. And now what do I see in coming, let's say, days for Kaspa? I believe that we are going to trade sideways for a while until Bitcoin is going to see the next leg up that is going to push the price of Kaspa, towards all-time highs and hopefully beyond, of course. So now let's have a look at the daily to see what is going on Kaspa. And now if we are going to look at the perspective of rainbow chart for Kaspa, we are dipping slightly below on a daily. However, if we are going to look at weekly time frame, we could argue that we are slightly dipping below. So things are still okay. And now if we are going to look at stochastic RSI for Kaspa, we can see that Kaspa is pretty much experiencing that bullish cross on stochastic RSI. So that could be that reversal that we are waiting for, for weeks at the moment, but now let's have a look at ETF inflows, or actually outflows. As of 7th of May, we do have negative outflows of 15.7 million USD. BlackRock haven't purchased anything as of 7th of May. And of course, Grayscale had to dump a little bit because after 2 positive days for Grayscale, I guess that was too much and they had to dump something. Of course, I'm joking. This is not Grayscale, but basically people that purchase these ETFs. But now let's have a look what our friend basically said when it comes to ETF for Ethereum, because that also is important. Let's listen.
The big question in crypto land right now, is Ethereum a commodity or is Ethereum a security? And therefore, will there one day be an ETF? That's the fundamental question on the table in crypto land. You agree?
You're the one that's out there asking the questions. All I would say is, to me, the fundamental question is how do we ensure that the American investor is protected? And right now, they're not getting the required or needed disclosures. And the intermediaries in the center of this rather centralized market generally are conflicted and doing things we would never allow the New York Stock Exchange to do. The New York Stock Exchange is not allowed to trade against the investor.
Yada, yada, yada. So basically no sense again. He cannot really give a straight up answer, just like in a Congress, so we cannot really expect too much from him. If Hong Kong already approved Ethereum ETF, I don't see the reason why America is lagging behind so much. But I also do believe that once this guy is going to be elected as a president this year, and I hope he will, things are going to change towards the positive outlook for crypto in general. This guy is very pro crypto, and also he do have his meme coin, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard it somewhere on Twitter. And now Robinhood versus SEC. Robinhood's founder says he will challenge SEC in court to defend crypto businesses and establish regulatory clarity after SEC issued Wales notice. So guys, people are going to be pushing back, and of course, if Trump is going to be president, I believe that is, good for crypto. And now, just in, asset manager, I cannot pronounce the name, but international, owns plus 1 billion worth of Bitcoin in just Grayscale's ETF. Institutional adoption is going to be wild. So, and now, yes, I agree that institutional adoption is going to be wild, but something doesn't really match over here because these are the only 2 positive days for Grayscale. So maybe that institutional accumulation, is behind the scenes. It's happening behind the scenes, but that's what we know for now. But also on the top of that, South Korea's new government will vote to allow spot Bitcoin ETFs in June. So guys, you see how fast it's going on, in Hong Kong, now South Korea, etc. And more countries are going to probably approve these ETFs, and America is still lagging behind. But, it is what it is. But now let's have a look at some short-term chart for BTC. So shout out to trader Taringrade. Bitcoin has completed the right shoulder in the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Let's see if there is a breakout following this bullish inverse head and shoulder pattern. The target of this pattern is 73,000 USD. That would also coincide with the all-time highs for BTC, and I do see that happening. So the theory of sell in May, go away doesn't necessarily gonna play out, and I wouldn't necessarily sell everything in May just because other people said so. But anyways, let's have a look at this beautiful chart that was created by El Crypto Prof. So the total market cap is currently sitting on the most important trend line of the entire bull market. This line was the most important support in 2016-2017 and in 2020-2021. I assume that it will also play a major role in 2024. Parabola is still to come in. First of all, guys, this chart is total market cap, which means it's everything pretty much on a monthly chart. That moving average is kind of important. We have retested that moving average, but we are going to look at the past. BTC's price was touching that moving average. We saw a healthy bounce, just like in the past. So overall outlook for the market is bullish in general. And now altcoins. Bullish divergence, ETH BTC weekly chart. Falling wedge, which is 3 years in the market. BTC went from 15k to 70k in the same scenario back then. I think altcoins copy 2015-2018 only in a larger time frame. So guys, we are sitting at this critical point over here now, and I do believe that we are going to see the bounce. So guys, things are getting serious. And now if we are going to look at the perspective of parabola, which I believe is going to start, because as you guys can see that this green box is still empty, and BTC still haven't entered that green box properly, you know, the post-halving box parabola. So we still do have a little bit of time before, you know, the proper bull cycle is going to kick in. And now shout out to Titan of Crypto. Bitcoin perfect rebound. BTC retested perfectly the EMA 20 on a weekly time frame. RSI seems to have found support. That is very good because we haven't dipped below. However, if we are going to look at what happened in the past when Bitcoin basically touched that EMA, we saw a huge pump for BTC, aka next leg up. So now we have bounced from that EMA, and now we could technically expect Bitcoin going upwards. And also, if we are going to look at RSI, it looks like it did found support, so that is actually good. And now guys, let's have a look at the chart that is pretty much excluding top 10, which means that is the most accurate macro chart that we can look at, you know, in order to determine of what is going on with Kaspa and how much time we have in this cycle. So first things first, let's have a look at the standpoint of Gaussian channel. So that was pretty much our bear cycle on all altcoins. However, if we are going to look at the rough length, you know, of the green color of Gaussian channel, we can see that by comparing, you know, the length, we are what, in like maybe 1/8 or maybe 1/10 of that Gaussian channel, which is green on a weekly time frame. And also one thing to notice is that we are potentially going to flip a bullish cross on stochastic RSI quite soon, so we could potentially see the reversal and proper enter into that box of up only territory. But of course, in that box we will most likely gonna have some leg downs as well. However, I do believe that the next leg up is going to happen sooner rather than later. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching that quick Kaspa update. I hope that you have guys enjoyed it, and I wish you having a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Peace and love, crypto.